standing next to the Holy Trinity here, the Marines, the Predator, and the Alien, and that's the foundation of the multiplayer component of this game, obviously. What can you tell us about the multiplayer?
We've got a lot of different modes. I mean, the great thing about having all the three species is they've each got their strengths and weaknesses, and we've played around with that with the different player modes. I think you've had a look at Predator Hunt, and you've had a look at Infestation, and those are kind of playing on the strengths of the Predator as a hunter in the first one, and then this sort of Marines as a sort of back-to-back survival experience against the hordes of aliens, which basically, let's face it, you'll eventually die in that game mode, and that's what's great about it, is who can stay there for the longest.
And it's like it also plays on the thing that you know when you look at other people playing it, you know they start out together a little bit, trying to stay together, and then someone gets separated, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. It kind of creates a certain amount of paranoia amongst the players, and I think that's great with multiplayer. You kind of start out as friends, and then eventually you're all trying to get, you know, trying to get that last kill, get that last kill in, which is great. Which means the games are over quickly, and it means you can have another go and another go. We want to build on the strengths of the characters, and we've got these three fabulous characters. Now, we've obviously got to stay true to the movies, you know, the Predator movie and the Aliens movie, so we can't mess around with the characters as much as you might expect, because they've got to be like they are in the movies. But the great thing is they're quite balanced anyway. They've got their strengths and their weaknesses. You know, the Alien is the weapon. You don't have any ranged weapons. The Predator's got really good weapons close up and really good weapons at long range, but in the intermediate range he's not so good. And the Marine's weakest at close range and quite good at long range, and very good at close sort of medium range with his machine guns and with his pulse rifle and all of that kind of stuff, rapid fire. The great thing is that they work really well together from a multiplayer perspective. And you also don't have the kind of red against blue, you just one side against the other. You've got three sides, and sometimes you can have these situations where, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and then the enemy is dead, and then you become enemies as well. So you get these sort of multi-phase fights, which are quite funny, as you say, in Infestation. Or in Predator Hunt, where only the Predator can score points, and the Predator's got to do a certain number of kills in a certain time period, otherwise they lose the right to be the Predator. And everybody's back to back trying to hunt the Predator because they want to kill the Predator, but they don't want to be killed by the Predator. So you get a really interesting kind of team dynamic there. So we've had the fantastic advantage, in a way, of creative restrictions of the license.
I think Infestation, like at least when we're not that experienced in playing the game, it sort of favored the cagey player who sort of sticks to one place and takes it very slow and easy, but I guess he might be very vulnerable to an experienced player.
I think that kind of depends on how good people are at playing the Alien as well. When they get killed and then they become the Alien, they'll be looking out for those people lurking on their own. And again, that's kind of got that whole emergent quality of, you know, do you want to get your revenge? You don't want somebody's ahead of you in points. You don't want them to survive. So now you're the Alien. You're going to look out for them and actually track them down. So you'll get really interesting situations like that, sort of revenge killings. And
hiss at them before you kill them.
Absolutely right. Exactly. Yeah. Terrify them first. Yeah.
And I also think that one of the nicest things about the Aliens is his speed burst, like that he can really just run. Because he can take quite a lot of damage compared to the Predator, for instance, who's, you know, if he gets into a bad situation, he's going to die. But the Alien can survive quite a lot of damage.
That's right. The Alien is quite a spindly character, really. So there's a lot of gaps. So whilst you might think you've got him targeted, you sometimes haven't. He can take a lot of damage, and he's incredibly fast and very manoeuvrable. And he's got his sort of his plunging kind of leaps and things, and also. The best players of the Alien game are those players that don't think like human beings. You don't think like you've got to walk on the walls, or you've got to walk on the floor. You've got to use the walls and use the ceiling and use your pounce ability, use your sort of bounding ability, your ability to leap large gaps and confuse the hell out of a human player. I mean, good Marine players, you know, check their corners and check the ceilings and everything like that. And we've noticed an evolution in the way people play the game as well. Alien players are getting better at playing as an alien and taking advantage of dark areas and really hiding where they are going to be properly hidden from the Marines. Same with the Marines kind of firing grenades into dark corners and kind of learning environments and learning that there are places where an alien might hide effectively from them when they're in a certain place. So yeah, we've noticed definite shifts, and it's kind of quite a steep learning curve. I think the alien is probably the steepest learning curve, is the hardest to get to grips with. But once you've got the idea of what you're doing, the best players, I think, will be the alien players.
In terms of level design, I imagine that it presents quite a lot of new challenges for you guys in terms of the three very different types of players, and sort of can you make maps that work across all game modes, or do you have to be more specific? Or
it is a challenge. It's a definite challenge with the different abilities that the characters all have. Because you've got your Predator that is probably better in outdoor environments with some height. The Marine obviously is better in the kind of close and sort of more narrow environments where they can see the enemy coming and take them out with carefully composed, shots. And the Predator, the Alien's better when they've got places to hide. And so kind of trying to balance all of those. Obviously, when we make the multiplayer levels, we try to balance it, but I think it'll be pretty clear that some multiplayer levels will favour one character or another, and we'll probably play on that a little bit. We'll probably say this is a tough level for Marines to survive in, and people will love that. They'll go, yeah, well, I beat you and we were in the Marine unfriendly level, or well, you were in an alien friendly level, so that doesn't count. And then we can start kind of expanding on that.
You don't want to go up against the alien airshaft, right?
You definitely don't. You don't want to do that, especially if the alien can come at you in places where you can't see, or you're almost more. It's more worrying when it's completely dark and when you can be attacked from all sides, actually, against aliens. That's definitely the hardest. If you know the alien's coming down a corridor at you, you've got a gun, well, the alien's not going anywhere, it's just got a charge and you can kill it. But if you don't know where the alien's coming from, you've got to constantly spin around and look into the corners. That's probably the most challenging.
The most that we played right now was 6 players. How many players will there be in the most sort of prolific modes, or is it 6, limited to 6? Or?
No, we've currently, as far as I'm aware, we've got 18 player modes, so you'll have basically 3 teams of 6, so which is quite good. So I think that's currently the maximum. That sort of depends, we might do DLC for downloadable content for bigger player maps. Maybe we can do a patch or something to kind of have more things. Maybe we can put a dedicated server in there. These are lots of ideas that we haven't got time to do right now because we're on the process of running up to beta for this game, so we'll be finished in the next couple of months on this product, and then it's out in February.